welcome back to my channel and another video. Today I have a swatch and review for you of the Holo Taco's 4th anniversary collection. This is the retro collection. Before I get into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched my last video with me and my father. We did like just a little Q&A, and we're supposed to paint fishing lures with nail polish, but I got so distracted talking to my dad that I forgot that I was supposed to be, actually doing something somewhat adjacent to my channel. So thank you for tolerating that and, all your kind words on that video. It was a lot of fun to film, and it was just, I had to cut like 30 to 40 minutes of footage out just to get it to the 30 minutes it was, because I just got carried away. I was like having such a good time. So thank you again to everybody who really enjoyed that video. It's probably one of my favorites, and it has like nothing to do with nail polish. But like I said, today we have a swatch and review of the brand new Holo Taco. Well, it's not brand new anymore because it's been out for a little bit here. But the Holo Taco Retro Collection. This is actually the first full Holo Taco collection I bought this year. I bought a couple like just individuals earlier in the year, but I didn't buy a full collection because at the beginning of this year I told you guys I was going to stop buying full collections just for the sake of buying and reviewing them, because my channel doesn't make money like that. So I can't it's not that I can't afford them, but then I can't afford anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have other hobbies that I like to do too, and I need to buy food and things like that. So I ended up picking the whole collection up, and I gotta say, part of it, this box, it fully sucked me in. When I saw that, I was like, oh man, now I gotta buy that. And it's just a really cute and fun collection overall. Now, this collection is limited edition. However, I just checked the website, and I'm filming this on Thursday. You're gonna see this on Saturday. But while I'm filming this, everything is still available. The box, all the individual polishes, as well as they have a set with the box, and they released a new storage bag, which I didn't pick up because even though I was really tempted, it was really cute. The colors were fun. I have no use for them. And I had to tell myself 9 times, Hillary, you don't need it. But everything is still available at the time of me making this review. The polishes are $14 each individually, so you can buy one or all of them if you'd like individually for $14 a piece. Or you can buy the full set, this box, and it is $70. You don't save money one way or the other if you bought all 5 like this or all 5 like this. So if you're into the collector's box, you might as well get the one with the collector's box because it's not any more or less. So as per usual, I'm going to show you my live swatches. I have full hand swatches as well. I also have a small comparison with the Orly jellies. For some reason, I thought I had all of them. That was a dream. I only have 3 of them. There's a blue one. I think there's one more color that I don't have. But I compared the ones that I do have to the Holo Taco jellies, and the difference is significant enough, I think, that they're not the same, but you could still probably choose one or the other. We'll talk about that at the end. And I had seen some concerns on both Facebook and Reddit of people talking about how their jellies were fading really, really quickly on the nail. And so I ended up doing just a little experiment with a swatch wheel to see, do these really fade as drastically as people are saying? Is this an exaggeration? So I will show you, and then I threw these in the experiment as well because, let's see how all these jellies do. And I will show you those swatch wheels at the end as well. Okay, so starting off with the blue, which is called Be Kind Rewind. And I just want to say that all 5 of these have pretty much the exact same formula. I didn't see any difference. They're very sheer on the first coat, remain sheer on the second coat, which is by design. They are jellies. However, I do find that these ones look a little bit more opaque on the nail solely because of that glitter running through it. It kind of detracts from the nail line, so you're more distracted by the holo glitter than you are by the nail line, at least in my opinion. This is Life in Plastic. This is the perfect little Barbie pink. I found also that these polishes dried much more quickly than other polishes in the Holo Taco line, and not so quick that they're difficult to work with or manipulate. It's just once you're done, they do dry down a lot faster to kind of like a matte finish. So you definitely are gonna want top coat with these. I mean, I always think you should top coat your polish no matter what. That's my policy, but If you really like that shiny look, I would definitely recommend Top Coat because they do dry down just a little bit dull. This is high def, and this one, I don't know why, in the bottle, it looks like a lime green to me. It's very obviously yellow once you get it on the nail, but for some reason, with all that pigment packed together in the bottle so close, it just looks like a lime green. Even in this picture, I feel like it looks more green in the bottle than it does on the nail, I swear. This is Anti-Hero. This is the purple, although I did find it leaned a little bit pink when you paint it on the nail. As you can see here, it does look a little bit, I mean, I guess it's still purple. You can tell it's purple, but it's one of those pinky purples, and it's not my favorite kind of purple. In the bottle, that more saturated look, I love that purple. On the nail, this one, not so much. I mean, I still like it, but it just looks too pink leaning compared to in the bottle. And finally, we have Box Office Bomb. Mine was a little bit streaky. I was able to get a lot of it taken care of before I filmed this, but there were huge chunks of pigment left over in mine. I tried shaking it and like swirling it around and just removing those chunks of pigment as they came up on my brush, but I did have a lot, and they created these deep streaks in the nail polish, and it gave it a little bit of an uneven coverage, but I think that with a good mix, it will be taken care of. So, what did you guys think of this collection? I know jellies are not like everybody's vibe. They're definitely my vibe. They weren't when I first got into polish. I've told you guys before, I used to hate them. I used to think like, I viscerally despised them. And then, I don't know, I just eventually one day was like, wow, I love jellies. So now I really like jellies. I thought it was cool to see Holo Taco branch out into jellies. This is a new finish for them. I wonder though if they're going to add any jelly formulas to their permanent line, because like I said at the beginning, this is a limited edition drop and they don't have any jellies in their permanent line. So I wonder if this is kind of like testing the waters, so to speak. I felt like these jellies were quite a bit more opaque than what I'm used to with jellies. A lot of jellies that I have in my collection, the visible nail line is much more apparent, and that is not a positive or a negative for or against these. I think it's just one way of doing it. I honestly thought it was pretty smart to do a jelly that's more on the opaque side, because I have a feeling a lot of people who are into Holo Taco to like a really big degree, this is either their very first nail polish brand that they've invested in, or it's the one that they invest the most in. And so maybe they're not as familiar with jellies as like someone like myself. And so to have something that is a little too sheer might be off-putting to someone who's new to the jelly formula. So I think it was smart to do it a little bit more opaque, in my opinion. I thought the color layout was really fun. I thought playing up on the like retro nostalgia factor when it comes to jellies, while it's not like a new concept, is a really good concept. You know, I throwing back to like the 90s and maybe early 2000s, I suppose. I don't consider myself a 90s kid. I was born in 1992, so I was 8 when the 90s ended. So I think a lot of people in my year would consider themselves a 90s kid. I just don't remember the 90s that much. A lot of stuff that people relate to as 90s kids, I'm like, I kind of remember that. I guess I did some of that, but I was the oldest sibling and I didn't have any cousins that lived close by. So I didn't have a lot of older influence to expose me to a lot of that like cool 90s kid stuff. I'm like an early 2000s kid. That's what I am. I mean, I did have cassette tapes. I do remember cassette tapes. Or I guess this isn't even a cassette tape. This is a VHS. Okay. I had cassette tapes too, but we had VHSs. I remember all my Disney movies were on VHS tapes. And I do remember we had a family friend that they had I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, like a machine that was specifically dedicated to just rewinding VHS tapes. Like what a useless, it was shaped like a Corvette or something. Like it was like a red car. Weird. I don't know. But I did, even though I'm like not a 90s kid in my opinion, I do really like this box. Like it was perfect. It very much brought back nostalgic feelings for me. I feel like I'm just like on the cusp. 90s, 2000s, I don't know. It's really not important, I guess, but I just feel like I need people to know that I barely remember the 1990s. I tell people all the time, I'm like, the only thing I really distinctly remember about the 1990s was the turnover to the new millennium, which, does that really count? We stayed in a Holiday Inn and I drank fake champagne out of a plastic champagne glass. Like that sparkling juice. I still love that stuff, by the way. Anyways, nail polish. Oh my God. I remember I turned the stream on real quick just to see like what the deal was. And it was right when Christine had like showed this box. And I remember I texted either Stacy or Nick and I was just like, great, now I have to buy this because like, it's like, how is this the same exact box as all the other ones back here? Yet it's so different. Like it's the same box format, but because they turned it into a tape, and then this piece here has a lot of really good details on the back. Like it's got the FBI warning and things like that. It really is reminiscent of a video. Is it a video cassette tape? No, just a VHS tape. There we go. So that was cool. The packaging, very on point. So these, like I said, are a lot more opaque than I am used to with jellies. And the colors were more rich and like punchy and neon. You know, in comparison to these Orly jellies that I have 3 of, you know, you can see these are kind of like more springy saturated and these are clearly summer. And I would say like, oh, that's the vibe they were going for, except that the green and purple were from summer jelly collection last year from Orly, I believe. So it's not that they're not summery colors. It's just that in comparison, if I wanted summer, I would go for the Holo Taco ones. And just to 100% like be honest with you guys, you know, I wanted to compare these two, and going into the comparison, I was fully biased. In my head, I was like, I'm going to like the Orly ones better. I just really like Orly as a brand. You know, it's just all around, they have a really solid base for me. And so I was fully prepared to just be like, yeah, I like the Orly ones better. That's just my vibe. I like the Holo Taco ones more. I just like the colors were just more up my alley, but also the glitters used in the 2 of them. I don't know. It's just, they're much more finely milled in the Holo Taco ones versus the Orly ones are, it's not even that significantly larger, but to me it makes a huge difference. It looks daintier in the Holo Taco ones, and I just really like that look. So I was surprised that I found that I really like the Holo Taco ones more than the Orly jellies. Now there is one exception. That would be Box Office Bomb. It's not that I don't like this color. I do love myself a really nice traffic cone orange. Mine just has massive chunks of pigment in it that I cannot get mixed in. And so just huge bits of pigment were getting on my nails. I had to wipe off a couple nails and repaint them a couple times in order to get the swatch photo that I showed you. I think I've mostly gotten the big pigment chunks out, but it wasn't well mixed, and I have found that this is an issue that Holo Taco tends to have from time to time, is that they get a little bit of really oversaturated chunks of pigment in them. I don't know if it's just in the mixing process or what. It's a very easy fix on my end. It's just, you know, for a $14 nail polish, you'd think it would be fully mixed. As far as choosing a favorite goes, how do I do that? How do I pick a favorite? I don't know. I'm really drawn towards the purple and the blue, but I also feel like this, is this a yellow or is it a green? I really can't tell. It looks like a highlighter yellow, but then sometimes I think it looks green. But these 3 colors together, or even these 2 colors together, give such a fun Halloween look too. So I kind of want to mix these together. I think if I'm gonna choose a favorite though, I'm really drawn to Be Kind Rewind, which is this really fun, punchy blue. It looks like a gummy candy kind of a blue, and I think that's part of the reason why I like it so much. So let's talk now about just some like baby, like minor, I guess, controversies, you could say, surrounding this, and also some comparisons. So the first weird complaint that I saw were some people were talking about the names, And so the names are Be Kind Rewind, Life in Plastic, High Def, Anti-Hero, and Box Office Bomb. Now, if you have lived under a rock and you weren't aware, the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer released on the same day, and everybody was calling it Barbenheimer or Barbieheimer. And, it was like a cultural thing that we were all doing. And a lot of people felt like Life in Plastic and Box Office Bomb were a reference to that. And people were saying that it was in poor taste, which it's like, what? Okay. Life in Plastic, yeah, clearly that's a Barbie reference, but I think it's more of when I hear Life in Plastic, my mind goes to the Aqua song, like the Barbie girl song. Like, I don't know. And that was such like a 90s, early 2000s thing. So I was like, that's the reference there. It's not the Barbie movie, because this stuff goes into production long before a lot of that. Like, you guys, people don't understand supply chain. Like, it takes forever. It takes forever to do anything. Trust me, I work in supply chain. It takes years. It's annoying. And then Box Office Bomb, sweetie, no. Like, that's a phrase. That's just something we say. It's not like people were saying that was offensive. It's just something you say when a movie does bad. It had nothing to do with Oppenheimer, okay? Like, that's weird that you would think that. That's a reach. Be careful. You're gonna hurt yourself. So yeah, that was weird that I saw that and people were actively pushing that narrative. Just like Google it. Like, it's not that hard. The other thing that actually caught my eye a little bit more was people were saying that their polishes were fading, not necessarily in the bottle, but on their nails. And they had pictures to prove it. And so I was like, is this just like a bad batch? Is this a one-off? Is this just somebody's getting a little too much sun? Which, like, in my opinion, any sun is too much sun, but neither here nor there. And I was talking to my friend on Instagram her name is Mediocre Manny, like, so mediocre_Manny. Yeah, we have the same name. What of it? Get over it. I was talking to her and I was like, I want to do a comparison, but I literally don't go outside enough to see if this will affect the nails. And she was like, put it on fake nails and put it on your windowsill. So that's what I did. So thank you for that. That was a great idea. I stole that from her. So this is a swatch wheel that has, these are, what am I pointing? These are the Orly's jellies, and then these are the Holo Taco jellies. And I painted this with 2 coats plus top coat, and then I put it in a drawer in my office so that it didn't get any sun at all. And then this swatch wheel, same thing, 2 coats plus top coat, but then I put it on the windowsill for 2 days. And as you can see, so I did 2. So the top half is the Glisten and Glow top coat. I labeled it. And then this half is, I used the Orly top coat that is like, it's called the Polish Shield. I don't know if you guys remember when I got this and I was like looking it up and it was supposed to be like UV protectant. And I was like, why would you ever need to protect your nails from UV? Well, here we go. We had an opportunity to see how that worked. And so I felt like I would, compare it between Glisten and Glow and the Orly UV top coat. So as you can see, first of all, we'll look at the Holo Taco, and you can see it's clearly faded. It's clearly faded quite a bit. That's 2 days in the sun, not even in direct sunlight. My windowsill is not like getting directly hit. This is the windowsill I put it on. I mean, it's like a little bit shady. Like, my succulents definitely don't get enough sunlight on that windowsill. So it's not like full force, but it gets enough sun that it is clearly faded the polish. However, it also faded the Orly polish. It is interesting though, the Orly polish, I feel like the pink faded pretty significantly, but the green and the purple look fine. Whereas the Holo Taco ones, they all faded, although I think the yellow one faded the least out of all of them. And then when you compare the Orly top coat that was, supposedly UV protectant versus the Glisten and Glow top coat, which is just a regular quick dry top coat, I don't really see significant difference. Like, maybe the Orly top coat is like a little bit better, maybe. And that could just be my brain trying to bias me against it. But I don't really see much of a difference between the two. So I guess basically what I'm trying to say is these will fade in the sun. And I imagine that most polishes will probably fade in the sun. I don't know why people suddenly noticed it with this particular line of polishes. I guess I don't wear polish long enough for this to really be a concern for me. But because people had brought it up, I just wanted to see, was it really that bad? And yeah, they do lighten up, but I don't think that this is like the end of the world. But that, like I said, is spoken from someone who wears polishes for 3 days at a time before they change them. So once it starts to fade, I would be changing it anyway. So that's something that you have to make a personal decision on yourself. And like I said, I didn't do this with any regular nail polishes, like creams or anything like that. So who knows? I imagine that sitting in the sun for a couple days would kind of bleach out anything. Maybe not this fast, though. I don't know. I guess that's an experiment for another time. So yeah, that was the Holo Taco 4th anniversary collection. I gotta say that the fading stuff aside, which like I said, isn't really my particular concern, although it may be somebody else's, I found that the packaging was stellar with this. I like that she added a new formula, and I really am looking forward to see if she adds more jellies in her lineup into her more permanent lineup, because I really liked these ones. I like the really finely milled glitter in it. It would be interesting to see if she did plain jellies as well. There's a lot of topper opportunities with toppertunities, if you will. There's a lot of toppertunities when it comes to plain jellies with layering and stuff like that. And her whole brand from the beginning was about mix and match and layering with different toppers. So I feel like employing jellies in that would be a really untapped market for her own brand. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let me know if you guys picked any of these up. Let me know if you picked up the carry bag too, because it was so cute. I might just go get like an igloo cooler that looks similar, because maybe that'll scratch that itch of a fun, colorful bag, and that will provide way more function for me than a bag to tote nail polish around will, because my nail polish lives in filing cabinets essentially. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this review. Get ready, because I have so many more reviews coming your way. It's going to be a review-a-palooza for like the next 2 months, because I've got 2 Orly collections sitting here that I'm about to do reviews on. I've got all my Polish and Beauty Expo stuff over there. And then I got a new brand to show you guys, Mythos Lacquer, which I am really excited about. So get ready for it. I hope you like reviews. I'll try to throw something in to break it up every now and again, but reviews from here on out for quite a while. But yeah, that is going to be it from me on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.